It took us 10 years, but 10 years ago, Jane and Finch took to the streets and we asked community 10 years ago what we wanted. Did we want cops in schools? And that is documented. And our community said no 10 years ago after we lost a young man. A community that lost a young man said we didn't want cops in schools. We knew there were better solutions. So this is a big victory for us.
Opposed, we have Trustees Lolka, Gershon, and Tonks. That motion is carried.
And that was the TDSB voting 18-3 with one abstention to end the school resource officer program that saw police in 45 of 584 schools across the city for nearly a decade. Now, the program was brought in back in 2008 after the fatal shooting death of Jordan Manners inside a public school, but it was brought in without any community consultation. Now, the decision to axe the program comes 3 months after the TDSB voted to suspend and review it, citing criticism from community groups and students who said that many students of color felt targeted and racially profiled by officers inside the schools.
As organizations that are pro-youth, we recognize that these students know exactly what they need, and when you ask them, some are brave enough to tell you when you give them opportunities that allow them to be safe to do so. So we look forward to hearing more youth voices.
We've listened to many of the students who don't normally have voice, and the important to us is that all our students are able to achieve in school, and if some of them felt intimidated or targeted or watched, that is not helpful for student achievement. So I think that we have made the right decision in this case.
This has been a learning experience for many school trustees, and we're very proud of the TDSB school trustees for practicing enhanced equity. And we call on all school boards, really we call on Mitzi Hunter and the Ministry of Education to really allocate funding to the recommendations.
Well, I really think that people sometimes have confused the presence of armed police officers in our high schools with adult supervision. You know, we can do adult supervision differently. We can have more hall monitors. We can have more guidance counselors. We can have more teachers. You know, we can have more social workers if we need them. That requires a commitment from our provincial government to properly fund those services. So I think the next step in all of this, and there are many conversations that need to be had, but I think one of the next conversations that needs to happen is with the provincial government to say, okay, come to the table. You've been relying on these cops in our schools to do a job that should be done and would be done better by other professions.
Now, earlier this year, Toronto Police Services announced that they would conduct their own review of the SRO program using university researchers, so it's unclear what this decision means for that. But the police union head, Mike McCormick, did react tonight on Twitter to a CityNews story saying disappointed in the TDSB decision tonight, a huge step backwards for students, our members, and the community. We need to build bridges, not tear them down.